All my life, I've been told I need to be less of something in order to succeed. Less emotional, less expressive, less feminine. But what if the very things that we were told to hide are actually our greatest strengths? Welcome to Decoding with Jaslin, to the series called Goddess Energy, where we reclaim what it means to lead, live, and rise from our center. This is my story, and maybe it is a bit of yours too. I come from a family with two daughters, and I still remember in third standard, someone asked me why my parents didn't have any children. I didn't understand it at first. But then I realized to them, we didn't count because we were girls. In ninth grade, two teenage boys fought over me at school. I didn't ask for the attention. I didn't know how to process it. But instead of asking why that was happening, school started treating me differently. Whispers, judgments, that subtle shaming that makes you want to disappear. That was the first time I remember shrinking. In college, I had male friends, and that in itself was enough for people to judge me. They didn't ask who I was, they didn't know my story, but they had already decided what kind of girl I must be. Then came work. I love dressing up, I still do. I showed up confident, joyful, intentional. And years later, someone said to me, I assumed you wouldn't be competent because you dressed too well. Let that sink in. I wasn't taken seriously because I dressed feminine. Later in my career, someone compared me to another woman. They said, she just comes across more serious. You're cheerful, you dress up, you smile too much. Their conclusion, she'd probably be chosen over you, not because of skills, but because she blends. And that's when I realized we weren't just being judged for what we did, but for the way we blend in a room full of men. Somewhere along the way, I started believing that if I wanted to be taken seriously, I needed to shut down my femininity. I began editing myself, choosing softer colors less often, not wearing pinks or reds to important meetings because I didn't want to seem too much. I wanted to come across strong, authoritative, sharper. And slowly, without even realizing it, I began dimming parts of myself just to fit into a world that wasn't built for women who lead with softness. Then came motherhood. Postpartum was hard, really hard, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I lost touch with myself. I felt disconnected from my own body, disconnected from my baby, even my joy. Going back to work helped for a while. I felt a bit more in control. But now, 4 years later, I realize I'm still lost, still out of alignment, still not fully me. And I think it's because all along I was fighting the wrong battle. And despite all of this, I kept pushing. Over the last 11 years, I've built a career in tech. I have led high impact teams. I've been recognized. I was honored with the Women in Tech Leadership Award 2025 and featured in the Industrial Automation magazine. I was trying to prove that I belonged. And on paper, I did. But inside, I was still editing myself, smiling less, choosing strength over softness. Not because it felt right, but because I thought that's what the room required. I was trying to win in a game that wasn't meant for me, trying to act, speak, and even look like what a leader is supposed to be based on rigid expectations. But I'm not a man, and I don't want to be one. I don't want to lead by cutting parts of myself off. I don't want to succeed by pretending to be harder than I am. I grew up watching a dynamic that shaped my early beliefs about power. And I'm sure many of you would relate to this. My mother didn't earn an income, and over time, I noticed that her opinions were often overlooked. Not intentionally, but subtly. It wasn't about blame, it was just the way things were. And for a long time, I believed that money equals voice, that income determines worth. But then I met my mother in law. She doesn't bring an income either, but she is deeply respected. She holds space, her presence carries weight. That contrast made me question what real power truly means. Yes, income gives access, it gives independence. But have we gone so far in that direction that we have forgotten other forms of power, emotional influence, spiritual authority, wisdom, grace? Maybe it's not about income versus influence, but real power is layered, and income is just one part of it. I want to bring my whole self, the warmth, the expression, the intuition, the joy, into every room I walk into. That is my leadership energy. This isn't just a video or a story. The goddess energy is a journey back to self for every woman who's ever felt she had to choose between softness and success. I'm creating this for us, for the woman who leads, feels, doubts, rises. We will talk about presence, perception, voice, vulnerability, power, and all the things no one ever teaches us, but we are expected to master. If this resonated with you and you want to take the next step, I have created something simple and powerful, a free PDF that breaks down the many ways we unknowingly move from our feminine and how we can gently return back. You can download it in the description below. Or if you'd rather watch than scroll, then the next episode is for you, where I'll be walking you through 5 everyday habits that are keeping you stuck in masculine energy. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye, goddesses.